So thanks for being here with me, Valerie. We have Valerie Ihsan to talk about her upcoming class, Finding the Core Message of Your Memoir. And so Valerie is here to just answer some of my impertinent questions about herself, class, so we can get to know her a little bit more. So what are you excited for about this class and teaching this class?
I really like reading memoir and I like talking about memoir and I like writing memoir and I like hearing people's stories and I like talking shop with writers. So all of the things make me excited about this particular class.
That's great. What are some of the things that students can expect to learn in this class?
Well, I'll be focusing on kind of the story hypothesis, the theme, the core message, the meat and potatoes really of the memoir. And I think that that is important when we're writing any story, but super important in memoir, because memoir writers can tend to, at least during the rough draft, write very vignette style stories. This happened in my life, and then this happened, and then this happened, and there is not a maybe a through line or reason for reading the book or writing the book, and so that can get kind of boring. And so that's what I'm trying to avoid, is helping people write non-boring things.
So I know when we have talked before about this class, yeah, you've talked about how it's really important as the author to know what that core message is of your memoir, what the theme is, kind of what the point of it is, what your readers are going to get out of it, because memoir is different than other forms of writing and other forms of books that people read.
I just think having that story hypothesis or theme at the beginning of trying to write is excellent. You can put it on a post-it note, stick it on your, monitor or something like that. But also it helped me in revision also, going back through and making sure each scene is like, am I actually making this point in this chapter? And it becomes kind of a callback, and it really helps solidify that through line so that you end up with a takeaway message or reason. When the reader closes the book, they have that satisfied, fulfilled, oh, okay, this is why I read the book. It was really good. Not, why did I spend a week reading this book?
So who would you say is the ideal student, the ideal person to take this class with you?
Obviously, anyone interested in writing memoir. I think it doesn't matter if you are in revision or just starting to think about what to write about. I think that the class certainly would work for either of those situations, before having written it or after having written it or during the writing process. I think that if you don't have an idea about what you want to write about, but you just know you want to write memoir, that could be really fun too, because in class, we can do a short writing exercise that would allow you to kind of narrow down what it is, like sort of distill your whole life into what you're going to put in this one book.
All right. That sounds great. Why do you like teaching memoir?
I think that we all have stories in us. And I read this book called Body Work by Melissa Febos on the radical power of personal narrative. And it was really inspiring and encouraging to continue writing memoir, because sometimes, especially when that imposter syndrome kind of comes around and says, like, you know, does the world really need another story about, insert your story here? How many more divorce memoirs? How many more grief memoirs? How many more addiction memoirs? Like, it becomes like I don't know, some people I think go through sort of an embarrassment phase, like, oh, I don't really want to, not that what you have to say is embarrassing, but I think that some people go through a phase of worrying that they're putting too much on the publishing industry, to put out another one of these books. And Melissa Phoebos's book and her response to that situation is everybody needs to hear this story. There are people out there that only will recover because you've written this story. You have to put this story out. So it was empowering to read. And it reminded me again, like, everybody has a story, yes, but everybody's, your unique spin on it and your way of dealing with your trauma or your, experience is vital for other people to read. And it's cathartic to write it too. So, I don't think that really answered your question, but I guess I like teaching memoir because I want people to write their stories.
No, that does answer the question, because
Okay.
it's true. I feel like for me, when I have written memoir, there is that feeling of like, oh, well, this is self-indulgent. All this navel
Mm-hmm.
gazing, this doesn't help
Yeah.
anybody at all. But it's not true, because reading memoir has been very powerful and helpful and healing for me, because there's that like connection to humanity and our shared experiences, can be a really wonderful thing. And it doesn't necessarily matter, who the person is or what the story is.
And it's not going to be navel gazing if you have that story hypothesis, to make a worthwhile point by the end of the book. Mm-hmm.
There you
A
go.
universal statement, I guess. Because when we're writing memoir, our first drafts and our first foray into discovering our own stories might be self-indulgent. It might be, journal writing. It might be stuff that it's not meant for the public. You're still processing your story at that point. But once it goes onto the page and is in revision, and your purpose is putting it out there for the public to read, then it becomes not about you. That's going to sound weird, even though you are the main character. So then the memoir becomes less about you and more about the universal truth that you're connecting with the reader. I said that kind of clunky, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. Well, it would be lovely to get to know you as a human person a little bit more. So what are some of the things that you're interested in or passionate about that don't have to be connected to writing at all?
I love dogs and Costa Rica. I
Well,
think those I'm passionate about.
tell us a
I
bit more
rest
about that.
the dogs. I rescue dogs. I have 3 rescue dogs right now. We've always been a multiple dog household. So as soon as one passes, we get another one. 3 is the limit for the city of Springfield. So that's all we can do. Um, I've wanted to try fostering dogs, and I didn't think that I would have like the heart for it, like giving away a dog that you love. That just sounds hard to do. And I didn't think I could do it. But I read this book on it was called Susie's Senior Dogs. And it was just about these fostering experiences. And after reading that, I was like, oh, there's so many more dogs I could help and save if I could foster. So yeah, I have one particular dog now that used to be kind of a problem dog. So we couldn't foster because of him, but he's very old and mellow now. So I think that I could start fostering if I wanted to. My dream is to have, like a dog rescue and have land where I could have a whole bunch of dogs that I could rescue. But I love dogs. Yes.
So you have a particular passion for senior dogs, don't you?
I do. Yeah. My husband prefers a little bit younger dogs that will go hiking with him. I like that like mellow mindset of lounging around all the time, strolling around for the walks and sitting on the couch and snuggling. That's my vibe. I like senior dogs for that reason. And I just think it's so sad that often older dogs are given up because they're just old and no longer useful to their families. And that breaks my heart. So it's horrible. That happens all the time. So yeah, I love to give homeless senior dogs a new home, a final refuge.
No, that's lovely. Yeah, I felt that way about cats. And also, you know, humans, I hope, you know, we don't just get like given up and whatever because we get you get old and useless.
Right?
My teenagers already think I'm old. So, all right. Well, this brings us to the our final and most important question at
Yes.
Word Crafters, which is what is your favorite kind of chocolate?
Definitely dark, but it's also awesome if there's something else yummy in it too, like salted almonds or salted caramel, or my my junk food candy bar of choice is usually a Heath bar. It's got that toffee, something like that. I prefer much more bougie dark chocolate, than Heath bars. But if you're going to a corner market and they don't have the nice, yummy, bougie chocolate, then I get Heath bars.
Your secret. That's your little secret chocolate indulgence. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I remember, totally off topic, but I remember when I had first moved to the US and I was in Florida, and a bakery, they had Heath Bar cookies. And
Mm.
I'd never heard of a Heath Bar before because I think it's an American thing. And
Mhm.
I thought, for the longest time, I thought it said health bar cookies.
Oh,
And I thought
yeah.
they were amazingly delicious to
For
be
health bars.
health bars.
I used to get the health bar blizzards with extra topping.
I love them. That little either the chocolate and the crunch and the toffee.
Mm,
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
I
Yum, yum,
love
yum.
that. So anyway,
As we're
that's my
drooling here.
confession. That's my teenage Joe confession. So thanks so much for spending some time with us and
Yeah.
your future students. It's been lovely getting to know you a little bit more, and people can learn more about you and the class you're going to be teaching in the description of this video. So thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. See you later.